The first activity that we are going to walk through on the Total Eclipse Choice Board is Activity 1, Eclipse Mini Lesson. I'm going to click on the activity title, and that will open our PDF with the mini lesson itself. To start us off, we have our standards that will be addressed. So standards from kinder all the way through high school astronomy are listed. That way you can include them in your lesson plans that you are creating and post in your classroom. You'll also see long-term goals. So what we want students to be able to understand and take away from the activity itself, as well as common misconceptions about eclipses. There are two within this activity, one being the misconception that there are no total solar eclipses at the north or south pole of Earth, as well as the myth that the moon turns completely black during a solar eclipse. So both of those are included in this mini lesson so that you can discuss these with kids during and after and make sure to address those misconceptions they may have. There are 3 videos included in this mini lesson. There are different options based on age group for each one. So this first video option is geared toward lower elementary students. So our pre-K, kinder, maybe even first grade students. It's just over 2 minutes in length. There are some key ideas that are listed, 9 of them for this particular video. That way you can see what is included before diving in and watching it, but you also know what those different key ideas are that will be discussed through the video itself. There are also additional points listed that are not in the video itself, but you can discuss those with students during or after just to reinforce the content. We have 2 images. One of the total solar eclipse, and this is what we're going to see April 8th, as well as a picture of the annular solar eclipse. This is what we saw here in Texas back in October. So students are able to see the differences between the two, with one completely covering the sun, so totally covering it up, and then the other, which creates that ring of fire, the annular that we saw. There are also guided questions included on this page. So again, during, after the video, you have those specific questions that you can ask students for comprehension and discussion. Option 2 is a video by Vox. It's about 5.5 minutes in length, and it's geared toward our upper elementary and high school students. So we're really looking at maybe 2nd grade, but for sure 3rd grade on. There are 11 key ideas for this video. And again, your additional points and guided questions to address during and after the video itself. Option 3 actually contains 2 videos. They're both the same, but one is in English, one is in Spanish. So if you have a dual language classroom, this would be perfect to show so that they have the Spanish language being spoken in the video rather than just the captions as you would need for the other 2 videos. This is geared toward our elementary students, so pre-K through 5, and it's about 4 minutes long. Again, you have your key ideas. There are 7 from this video. You have your additional points and your guided questions to ask during or after the video itself for discussion. Now, alongside these videos, you might want to model a solar eclipse. We know that it's difficult for students to really grasp those abstract concepts, especially those in our Earth space strand. So having a large object to represent the Earth, a significantly smaller object to represent the moon, and then your flashlight for the sun is recommended in creating this model. What you really want students to grasp is that this shadow that's being created here as the moon is passing in between the sun and the earth, it's not huge. And you can see this just in the visual of the model itself. This is part of why we have a specific path of people who are only getting to see that total solar eclipse, and why it can be so rare. This will be addressed in a couple other activities later on as well. So I'd encourage you to go watch those other lesson videos and peruse some of the different mini lessons that are included in the choice board. But this is a great visual to provide for students so they're able to see what's actually happening with such an abstract concept. Included in this procedure, you'll see this link for the graphics from the lesson. So if we open that, it will take you to a Google Drive folder where you're able to not only have the graphics for the total and annular eclipse images, but also the solar eclipse model itself. The last thing you'll see on here is one additional video that can be watched after whichever option you choose earlier on. This one is on the annular eclipse. So again, what we saw back in October, it's just under 2 minutes and it's geared towards students in 3rd grade or higher. And it looks at the differences between the annular eclipse from October and the total solar eclipse that we'll see here in April. So students not only have that visual with the images from earlier to compare, but they also have the video that NASA goes through and does a great job of explaining the differences between.